Hello, hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing a classic Southern dish. That's right, that Southern style I'm going to say sweet potato, that Southern style potato salad. Everybody got their own take on it, and so do I. I'm not going to keep you waiting. Let's get to cooking. I'm going to start off by placing my eggs in some cold water and salt. I'm going to bring it up to boil, cut it off, and let it sit. I'm starting off with 4 russets here. They're jumbo size. But I got a little tip for you a little bit later on choosing the right potatoes. Now, of course, most of you, I'm sure, have had some potato salad in your life, and you've probably already formed an opinion, whether you like it small, diced, large, or like pudding. I prefer a little mixture of the pudding and the small dice. So that dice is up to you. You just want to make sure that you are cutting it evenly, or as close as you can get. I mean, a potato is round. It's oval. But just get it diced as close to even for each one as you can. And it's okay if it's not perfect. And I already have some potatoes already cooking up. You're going to cook them until they're nice and tender. Be careful. You don't want them breaking apart too much. And of course, we have the celery. I'm just going with one large stalk here. And you're going to cut this finely diced, unless you like it a little bit on the chunky side. And I've already have that chopped as well. I'm prepared today, y'all. So I just have one little celery. Now the onion here is according to your taste. I think I have about a little over a cup of finely diced onions. That's a regular yellow onion, nothing special. Potato salad is a labor of love. There's a lot of tasting, a little of this and a little bit of that. I'm going to try to make it easy for you. I'm starting off with 3/4 cups of mayo. Of course, if you're a Miracle Whip person, go ahead. It's just a little sweeter, and that's fine. To save you some time, you can make the sauce ahead of time, but the potatoes must be warm when you are adding this sauce. Now, I don't want to start any fights in a comment. You know, we all have our favorite mayo or dressing that we like to use. I'm using Duke's. You can use whatever's your favorite. It doesn't even have to be mayo. It can be salad dressing as well. I'm using just your plain yellow mustard. I'm using 1.5 tablespoons of the yellow mustard. I think this recipe is a perfectly balanced between the mayo and the mustard. But if you like more mustard, then add a little bit more. Looks like I got more on my glove than the bowl. I'm trying, y'all. And of course, I'm using sweet relish here. Every sweet relish is totally different. Some are definitely sweeter than others. And of course, voila, I got some dill relish. Some of you guys are dill only, and some of you are sweet relish only. This is a perfect blend, y'all. I'm adding 4.5 tablespoons of the sweet relish, and I'm adding 1.5 tablespoons of the dill relish. Now my next ingredient is definitely going to add some nice little sweetness to it. And I'm only using 2 tablespoons full. Don't be alarmed. This is not a really sweet potato salad. It's not a Amish potato salad. If any of you have had that, that's a sweeter potato salad. But this is a perfect balance between that tang and that sweet. And of course, I'm using real lemon in this today. And I'm just going to use about a tablespoonful. Now, bottled lemon juice is a little bit more muted than your actual juice from a whole lemon. I prefer the whole lemon, but I'm using what I have. And of course, I'm adding some celery salt. I know that I added a celery to this. I'm also using some smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika, of course. I'm using some black pepper there and just a little bit of garlic powder. I'm using a half a teaspoon of celery seed, a quarter teaspoon each of the garlic powder and smoked paprika. And you can use anywhere between a quarter teaspoon to a half teaspoon of salt. Of course, pepper to taste. Now, I didn't use a lot of salt because I don't like an overly seasoned, as far as salt that is, potato salad because I've salted the water. Alrighty, let's talk potatoes. Now, a few weeks ago, I started off shooting this video. That's why you'll see the shirt change. But you know, somebody missed the camera. Somebody didn't do that correctly. I wonder who that was. But anyway, I started off with russets. And you'll see the second video that I shot, I used the gold potatoes. And you can use whatever you have. You know how I do, whatever you have. Sometimes you don't feel like going out to the store. Typically, what you see more common are the russets and the yellow. Now the russets, they break apart. They're good for like French fries and such. If you overcook them, even by a little bit, they will break apart. I don't mind my potato salad being a little bit on the extra creamy side. You know, like pudding. You can get that result with the russets. If you like a firmer potato and you're using russets, you have to make sure that you are really watching that pot. Do not let it overcook and don't let it sit in the hot water. Now you saw I finished with the yellow potatoes. They were on sale. I got them for $3, y'all. I had to jump on them. So gold, or in this case they were Yukon gold. Those are waxier, they're firmer, they're also creamier. These are perfect in potato salads. But whichever one you decide to use, even the white potato, forget about the white potato. Back in the day in my house, all we used was white potatoes. Mama would go out to the store and get that 20-pound sack of potatoes. Y'all remember that if you're a certain age. If you're a certain age, you remember that huge 20-pound bag in paper, this thick paper. But anyway, so you can use your white potatoes. White potatoes are probably the most common. Anyway, which one you use, just be mindful when you're cooking the potato. Back to cooking. And I'm just testing my potato here to make sure it's nice and tender. And these are the gold potatoes I was telling you about. I'm going to drain these. I am not going to rinse them, y'all. Now while they are piping hot, I'm going to use some vinegar, and you can also use lemon juice if you want. Now this is perfect because this is going to give that tang that's inside of that potato. It is very important. Of course, I'm using a teaspoon of the apple cider vinegar. If you want to use fresh lemon juice, you may, or bottle. It's up to you. And I'm just going to shake it up a little bit. I don't want to break it up, but so much. before we add the sauce to the potatoes, we just wanted to cool down just a little. I still want them warm. And there you have it. I'm just using 4 eggs. I know you saw a great many eggs in my pan, but only 4. And now I'm just checking just to make sure this is nice and warm. We don't want these cold. Now, unless you overcooked your potatoes, that is. I'm just going to add most of my sauce. Oh, yes. I can't wait to dive into this potato salad. And you see, I just got a little bit left. You can pour yours all in if you want to. I like mine saucy. And I don't want to stir this just yet. So you see me just moving around. My father taught me one good thing. Add all your ingredients to the bowl before you get to mixing. And now as you see, I'm going to add that onion and that celery that's finely diced. And I love that green color, that celery. It has a nice crunch. And now I'm going to add and just dump those eggs in there that's chopped up roughly. Now I overcooked those eggs. And you can tell because you can see some of the green, but that's okay. It still tasted good. I must not be good at multitasking. And I'm adding diced pimentos. I love to add that nice red color into the potato salad. And I'm adding 1.5 heaping tablespoon of the pimento. And now I'm just going to fold this in. Well, I'm going to try this spoon. It isn't working for me. I need something much harder there. All right, there we go. I am folding. I don't need to mix. Well, I'm still mixing, but I don't need to stir it up. Just folding. As you can see, I'm turning and folding, turning and folding. And this is perfect for those who like to maintain the integrity of the potatoes. You are a chunky potato salad eater. Now, for me, I would probably mix it up a little bit more because I like a little bit. I told you that pudding texture with my potato salad. It does. It's the taste is still the same, but it's just, I'm a texture person. But this is what we're going to do to maintain the integrity of that potato, to keep it nice and firm still. And remember, your potato salad at this point is warm. Of course, you got to do a little taste testing, right? I'm going to go ahead and add. I'm going to add it back in. I'm going to add the rest. And you can top it off with a little bit of paprika. Normally for shindigs or family gatherings, I actually top my potato salad with deviled eggs. And once you get this mixed up, just go ahead and throw it on in the fridge just for a few hours or overnight. Next day is always best. And of course, I'm going to make mine extra saucy. Depending on the type of potato, you'll find that it will soak up that sauce while in the refrigerator. So go ahead and add that extra sauce in. Did you love this recipe? Share it with a friend or save it for the next cookout. Now leave me a comment to let me know how it turned out. What changes did you make? There is nothing like a good Southern potato salad to bring folks together. And if you love more recipes, check these out right here. I'm starting off with 4 russets. I'm starting off with 4. Oh, I don't even have this on. Okay.